Yeah, we're back in the only setup I've ever used that actually has good lighting. I think this is going to be the permanent one from now on because I like how this little setup looks. It's all with my new PC and everything. Now let's get into the video. Have you ever felt a rap song remix didn't need to exist? Because remixes happen a lot in hip hop. With the way rap verses are typically structured, it's pretty easy to get a couple new verses on your existing song to create something new, and maybe even promote the original artist to new ears. I've never went into 3 6 Mafia's music yet, so I wouldn't have heard Who Run It if it wasn't remixed by every artist under the sun. But sometimes it's hard to feel like the remix was necessary. Maybe the featured artist didn't provide much to the framework of the song, maybe it was a song that was fine being a standalone, whatever the case may be. They exist, and today I'm gonna be pointing out the ones that, yeah, I'm fine with them existing, like get your streaming money, I'll just listen to whatever version I like more, but I'm gonna single them out nonetheless today. So, this is CDTVProductions, and let's talk about these remixes.
Nobody can tell me what I can't do. I can make the blood walk like some new shoes. New Chanel coat.
Love that sad, melancholic beat, man. It makes me feel something, you know?
Ooh, I pop up perk when I'm upset. She suck my dick right on sunset. I made a few millies, ain't done yet. Addicted to the money, spend 100, then it come back.
Rich, you couldn't just switch up the way you rap for one song. The contrast of his hyped up voice against the somber beat is so jarring, it just does not fit in. I'm gonna have to do something about the reflection on that screen though, that's not ideal. Maybe some sad auto-tune. Why are you rapping like it's a hype song, Rich the Kid? Yo Gotti is on this track and he is a bit better, but it still doesn't make it feel like it was a remix that was needed. I think he has one reference to pills in his lyrics at the very start and the rest is unrelated to that. I mean, I'm not saying Lil Xan's original verse was super on topic to the concept of the song, but it would be cool if he got features that would do that. Let's put it this way. Lil Xan rapped a new verse on this song that wasn't on the original version, and he had my favorite verse on this particular track. If Lil Xan is my favorite part of a song, it's pretty obvious Rich was chosen for this remix for no other reason than because he's a popular rapper, and Yo Gotti to a lesser extent too. And now that I think about it, there's so many other features that could have been selected that would have a much bigger chance of making this song something bigger with a remix and make it its own unique song that stands out from the original Betrayed. Why not, for example, have a rapper on this song who also condemns Xanax in real life and could further this Xans will betray you narrative? Lil Xan could have chosen Juice WRLD, for example, to have a verse on this remix. I think that would work really well. He was blowing up right about the time that this version of Betrayed dropped, and not only does he consistently rap and talk about how he hates Xans and quit them years ago, but his melodic emo rap style is a match made in heaven with the instrumental for this song. He could come in with that, "The Xans won't fix my heartbreak, pills they make me feel fake." I feel like that would have made this remix so much bigger, but instead we got a couple features that were more than likely just thrown on the song to capitalize on the popularity of the original rather than be a quality follow-up. Easily a remix I could do without. Do we transport to 2012 or something? This one just confuses me more than anything. In part because, yeah, it is noticeably different, but it doesn't alter the original version as much as you would expect for a remix from someone that can do a lot of different genres with his producing. Skrillex, whatever you want to say about him, he is actually quite versatile with his production, but he doesn't change this song up all that much. The track is basically unchanged for the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's essentially SICKO mode, the original version, just with some extra noises and sounds slapped over it.
Pick and roll, younger flame, he in sicko mode.
And it's questionable if a lot of the sounds that Skrillex puts onto the track actually add to the song. In my opinion, quite a lot of them don't. Like this one.
When we pull up, give me the loot.
What was the purpose of cutting off the last word of the Biggie sample with a... Then we get one big drop in the middle of the song. That is pretty cool, I guess, and does leave the Skrillex mark on the song, but even then at the end, I can't help but feeling there's more he could have done to change this up and really give this remix its own identity, make it its own song. For me, the OG version of Sicko Mode is more enjoyable as a song, and is better as a song for the club, honestly, rendering this remix as pretty pointless, in my opinion.
It's all on the jobs. Let me see my art. 30 on my Glock. Plug 'em like a...
Does anyone else in a weird way kind of miss 6ix9ine? Because I was listening to a song that featured 6ix9ine yesterday and I was like, damn, I actually miss some of the energetic songs this guy used to make. Is that just me? Did I just make one of the worst confessions I possibly could on camera? But okay, I might be very marginally biased on this one just because the GUMMO beat reduces my happiness by about 40% every single time I hear it. It's not even funny, it's quite upsetting. But also that doesn't change the fact that this song only exists, much like the other ones we've covered so far, because GUMMO was such a big song. Same as with Betrayed, kind of the same as with Sicko Mode, and same as with the next song I'm going to talk about after this one. The moral of this video is essentially stop making purposeless remixes to songs just because they're your biggest song. Like when 6ix9ine was making this track, I highly doubt he was in the studio thinking, man, when this blows up, I need to get Offset on this. It's a song that exists because why not? Now, Offset has shown that he can work with ominous, ghostly, haunting production. Just look at Without Warning for 10 tracks worth of proof. But his verse on here, it just isn't on that level for me. Maybe it's just because I find it so weird hearing someone who has a voice as calm as Offset's next to 6ix9ine's yelling, or maybe it's just because I legitimately don't like the GUMMO beat under any circumstances, and the inclusion of a guest verse on this song means that I need to listen to that beat for an extra minute on this version. But it definitely has a lot to do with that same old formula of biggest song at the time, get a popular feature rapper to feature on it, put it out to get some more streams, and that's pretty much the point of this one. If it wasn't clear by the thumbnail, this one was my inspiration for this video. When this dropped, this video idea just instantly popped into my head. Ransom, to me, is a song that stands perfectly fine on its own. In a way, it tells its own story as the song that propelled this 16-year-old kid, Lil Tecca, into the spotlight all by himself. Sure, a couple bars may be stretching the truth slightly.
I got 2 twin Glocks, turn you to a dancer. I don't have no straps for nobody. She know I got the funny Prado when I hit Milan. No, I've never been to Europe or nothing.
But I think it's really enjoyable, and Tecca's effortless melodies make his admittedly very standard lyrics really nice to listen to. This is one that I can fully enjoy for the vibe it gives off. Then, the remix. I know Nick Mira produced the track, but that doesn't mean frequent collaborator Juice WRLD had to hop on this one too. Personally, I don't feel like Juice WRLD really adds to the original song or changes it in any meaningful way. In fact, I feel like his verse sounds like a quick freestyle that he just fired out and sent to Lil Tecca within 30 minutes. The final line of his verse was cold, so that's a plus, and that almost murmuring flow he used for a few lines suited the track's tone perfectly.
I got hard, I got soft, what you want. Since the day that I've been on, they been blowing up my phone.
But outside of that, I honestly feel like Juice WRLD's voice actually disrupts the chill feeling that the rest of the track gives off. The transition from Tecca into him doesn't feel all that smooth.
Big thoughts when I let the game, I'm in it to win it, I'ma be the best, yes sir. Started from the bottom, Tecca take you for ransom, me I put you in a coffin. I got black, I got white, what you want?
I don't hate his voice by any means, but I feel like it's got a little bit of a whiny quality to it that doesn't really work with the blueprint that Tecca provided for the song, or even the instrumental for that matter. The remix is something I've listened to a couple of times and I'm pretty much finished with it already. To me, and I may be completely wrong, but again, it just feels like another one that was made because It does make sense that Tecca and Juice would work together because Tecca said in his Genius interview about Ransom that Juice WRLD was one of his main inspirations. But I just don't think it was a good idea to do it on this particular song. So that's all the songs that I want to talk about in depth, but trust me, they're nowhere near the only ones. So we're gonna do a quick little quickfire round to finish this video off. The song is about getting over a breakup, but Nicki comes on with an entirely unrelated opening verse to rap about how she's the best and the queen of rap. Nothing new here. Yes, what this song needed was a long tangent about Logic's race, a topic which I'm sick of hearing / talking / memeing about now, so let's move on. On your screen right now is the number of songs that need a 5th remix. The last person I imagined hearing on this song was Snoop Dogg. The last person who should have featured on this song was Snoop Dogg. Big song, remix for the sake of it. Certain parts of Future's verse are horrendous. I can take the sky. I'm a pass on this one. And that about covers it for remixes that I personally feel don't need to exist. By the way, now is probably a good time to mention, even though it might seem like it from this video, I don't hate every rap remix ever made. I've actually made 2 videos on remixes that were, in my opinion, better than the original, so I'll leave those ones linked down below. So that's all I've got to say for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If there's any remixes that I didn't include in this video that you think were pretty pointless, let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate you subscribing and turning on the notifications so that you see every single video that I upload. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one, and this is CDTVProductions, signing out.